Once in the forest you'll find a fabulous banquet, a fairy ball. If you close your eyes and you open your mind, the veil disappears and you'll see it all.
Hi my angels, it's Haley Reese, and today I am super excited because I'm coming at you guys with yet another movie, TV show, being real type of thing. That was the worst explanation ever. Okay, what I mean by this is, you guys know that I dove into The Conjuring this week and I talked about the true story behind that. I've talked about different TV shows, different movies, and what could be real behind them. But today is going to be one of my first in the TV show realm. And you and I are going to dive into the show Stranger Things and talk about how this show reflects what is a serious reality in day-to-day life. Now, before anybody comments saying, "What happened to your eye, Haley?" You guys, I was getting ready, I was putting mascara on my bottom lashes, doing my makeup, and I stabbed myself in the eye with the mascara. My whole eye had black in it. It was all bloodshot. I had to try to clean it out. And now it's red and sore. And I was like, do I film? Do I not? But I leave to LA tonight. In the next few hours, I'm heading to the airport. So I was like, it is now or never to get this video done. Your eye's gonna look a little red, but the Reese's Pieces deserve to know your thoughts. So please don't comment too much about it. I know it's red, it's sore. I stabbed myself with a freaking mascara stick. It's been through the ringer, but today we are going to talk about Stranger Things, and I'm really, really excited about it because I have a lot of theories. So first and foremost, I was super behind on the Stranger Things trend. This show has been trending for the longest time. I tried to watch it once, but the first episode kind of threw me off and I left it. I didn't think that it was my cup of tea. And then just recently when they came out with season 2 and everyone was like, this is the best show ever, I'm like, Haley, give it an honest try. Watch a couple episodes, and if you still don't like it, then maybe it's just not for you. So I did exactly that. I watched a couple episodes, and if you've watched Stranger Things, you know all it takes is a couple of episodes and you're hooked. So I was hooked into this show. I needed to know what happened to Elle. I needed to know where this missing boy was. I needed to know what in the world was gonna happen. But suddenly I realized that the things that they are representing are not so sci-fi, are not so far-fetched, and are not so unbelievable. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I have done zero research into whether or not they're trying to represent something, whether or not this is a true, none of that, sorry. None of that. I am just going off of what I have learned through my research over the past few years into different dimensions, into portals, vortexes, spiritual realms. And my, oh my, Stranger Things is not so strange after all. So the first thing, oh my gosh, where do I start? Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is the fact that in this show, the government, or whatever you want to call them, has taken Elle in, and in season 2 it shows other people in. Obviously she's number 11, so there's more, we obviously knew that, but taken others in and held them hostage because of their abilities. Now Elle's mom, you guys know this, was into this manic state of psychosis where basically she went into a state of needing psychiatric care because her daughter was taken from her, and she was made to believe that this is all just made up. In the government, and I'm only very briefly going to touch on this because I hate talking about anything government on my channel. In the government, it is said that anybody with a certain level of spiritual powers is abducted by the government to use for their own greed, their own personal gains, or to keep them from being in the world and advancing as so. So right away, the concept of Elle being taken from her mother and her mother being deceived to believe that this was all just a lie in the beginning, that she never had a daughter, and it was all just a psychiatric disorder, is not so far-fetched. Now, we've talked about Max Spears, where he was actually somebody who was trying to expose the government on giving him false psychiatric care, which is where he went to see a psychiatrist who was programmed to make him believe that everything he'd seen in government and everything that he had seen in general was just a complete and utter lie. So this concept in the TV show 100% happens and is 100% the truth. So right away I was like, interesting. But I kept watching. I was like, let's see what else they're gonna throw at me. Now, Elle opened up a portal. And it might be represented in a more dramatic way in the show because it is kind of like a sci-fi show, so the portal's all gooey and it looks all weird. But in real life, this can happen. Somebody with an ability can open a portal, sometimes to a darker dimension. And that is exactly what Elle did. And in doing so, people could get lost in the other dimension, and the creatures of this dimension could come into that world. Here's where it gets interesting, you guys. So nearing the end of season 1, they're all in the house, and the mother and the police officer are in the other dimension. And as they're going through, the lights are lighting up because they're in the upside down, which is what they call it in the show, which is basically the mirror of their dimension, which is a true thing, and I'm gonna get into that in a moment. And they're having little signs in the real world as to what they're doing and where they're walking in the upside down. This is when I got real chills, you guys, because different dimensions exist. That is why between the spiritual world and here, it says the veil gets thin. The veil is what keeps us, it's like that line they describe in Stranger Things. The veil is what keeps us distant from each other, to different spiritual realms. And so when we see ghosts, okay, I don't even know, I'm so overwhelmed because there's so much I want to tell you guys, but okay, so there are some ghosts when you go to like a haunted house, and I mean like not like a fake haunted house, like a house that's been haunted. Sometimes they'll say that the ghosts don't know they're dead, and they go about their daily chores, and that is because they're in the upside down. They are still within their home. They don't see you in it. You don't see them day to day, except for occasionally, but you don't see them. They're in this alternate reality. It's a mirror of our current dimension. So it looks the exact same as in Stranger Things. It's the same home, the same town, the same areas, but they don't see the regular people because they're in the mirror dimension of it. I hope you guys are following along. This is like a tangent, but I need to tell you guys about this. So the interesting thing is, we experience paranormal activity. I know that a lot of you have. I'm not the only person here who's experienced these things. When we experience things like, oh, something knocking off the shelf, or lights flickering, or, you know, TVs going like fuzzy, or this or that, it's somebody in an alternate dimension, in that spiritual realm, connecting into our realm, which is exactly what happens in Stranger Things, okay? So when the lights start to flicker as they're walking through those areas, that could happen in real life, and somebody somewhere in another dimension is in the upside down, is in the alternate universe. Now, where this gets dangerous is, it is true, you can open portals into different dimensions. I've talked about mythical creatures. I personally believe in them. You might think I'm a nut job, and that's totally okay. We all have our own different beliefs. But upon opening certain portals, it can get dangerous. And in Stranger Things, they opened a portal into a different dimension, into something malicious and something sinister and evil. And Elle was the one who did that because she had that ability to do so. All of this entire show may be dramatized, but I am telling you guys, this whole concept didn't come out of thin air. Somebody somewhere knew about different dimensions. Somebody somewhere knew that the upside down is just an alternate universe. Somebody somewhere knew that there are gifted people that the government takes hostage, and somebody somewhere created the TV show that is not so far-fetched. What blows my mind is that although this show is sci-fi, although it's considered for entertainment purposes, there are so many correlations between Stranger Things and the stranger things that happen in real life that I couldn't not make a video on this. I hope that you guys understand what I'm trying to say, as when somebody says, oh, the veil is thinner on these days, or oh, sometimes between the spirit world and our world the veil thins and we can see them. It is exactly what they were representing in Stranger Things, where when they went to the alternate dimension, of whatever dimension they opened. I can't even tell you what one, that I don't know. But when they went to an alternate dimension and they were having interaction with the current present physical dimension in the show, it's a representation of the veil thinning. It's a representation of how spirits and fairies and gnomes and all those crazy things correlate and come into our world. I don't know, you guys, I could do a million videos on this. I could break down each particular element and tell you guys exactly how it can be a real thing, but I really wanted to come on here. You know I love talking about the true stories behind things, and I love Stranger Things. I love it. It took me a minute to get into it, but I freaking love it. And when I watched it, goosebumps, because I'm like, somebody is representing in a more dramatized way how it really is in the real world. And I'm like, I need to come on my channel. I need to talk about this. And I know that one of you, if not more, one of you is gonna be like, Haley, I knew it. I knew that even though it's dramatized, even though it's, you know, the portals and the vortexes and Stranger Things are really dramatized, like, you're not gonna go somewhere and see a, well, you might if you're by yourself and you're in a spiritual trance, but typically there's not like a portal of like goo and everything. It's like a vortex, like, you know, but it's just crazy. It's a true and real thing, and I genuinely, whether or not you guys think I'm insane, believe that Stranger Things is based on some of these stranger things in real life. Let me know in the comments below if you guys think this too. Let me know if you've watched Stranger Things, what you think of this show. I love it. I've just started season 2. I'm a couple episodes in. This show is amazing, and I really like how they're taking elements of real spiritual things that happen, and even though they dramatize it, they're bringing awareness to the realities of being gifted and the realities of alternate universes and things like that. I don't know. Maybe I sound insane, but I know some of you are gonna understand. If you guys enjoyed today's video, but you are not yet subscribed, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. I post a ton of videos. I don't want you to miss when I upload. And please give this video a big thumbs up. It makes my heart super happy when you guys do that, so please do that. I'm heading to LA today. I am so excited over it. I'm gonna be filming tons and tons and tons of videos while I'm there, so make sure you subscribe. And yeah, I love you guys so, so, so much. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness. And until next time, I love you.